Hello. Today I wanted to build a paper towel holder. So I went to printables.com and downloaded one, and I have a sample of one that I downloaded, and it was a little too small. So I got a brand new roll of paper towels, and it just barely fits on. So every time I pull paper towel, it hits, and it's no good. So I want to build my own and make it, unique to my needs. So let's get started. So I have OnShape open here. This is the paper towel holder that we will build, and I will pull up the 3D. I'll pull up the 2D actually. Let's go to drawing, and here is the 2D drawing. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this, and we can start building this from the 2D. So I'm going to do that myself. Take a screenshot. And I'm going to drag that screenshot onto my second screen. Okay. And now I will go back to the Part Studio. So now let's create a brand new OnShape document. So I have my OnShape open now. I'm using the free subscription. We're going to go to Create. We're going to go to Document. We're going to type in paper towel holder. And we're going to add just a 1 to this. Now I'm going to take this WCS, the work coordinate system, pull it in, and let's click on front. And we can click and drag this around if we want to. So now basic principles of the mouse, middle mouse button does the pan, right mouse button does a rotation, and left mouse button does the selections. We can hit Y to get out of selections, or that was Y. We can hit Y to hide things, and so I'm going to Control Z that and undo that. That's the same as going over here and hitting this undo. Okay, so let's go to our front plane. Let's start with our general shape. We're going to go from this origin right here. This origin is going to go to every point. So we will go with a sketch on this plane right here. And now let's just drag a line down here, and we'll create a circle. Hit L to get out of that. So we're going to hit L a lot to get in and out of these lines. And let's build that circle first. So we're going to build this circle here. It is, the largest one is 38 diameter. So just click on that. And once I built that circle, I typed in 38. So now let's go with a tangent here. So click on tangent, click on that line, click on that circle, and it snaps it to that, okay? So now we're going to build another line from this edge. We're going to build a line straight here, and then straight down. So L to get that line, go over here, and we're just going to go here, and then go straight down. And that's saying it's coincident, so I don't want actually coincident. I want it to go a little bit further, and what I'm going to do is get out of that line, hit L. Click on that line, click on that guy, and then we're going to hit tangent, and then it snaps it together. Now we're going to hit M for trim. So let's go over, hover over this M, click on that guy, and then just slide over that guy. And slide over this guy if you want. That should not have broke. So something unbroke. Something, when I slid over that with the M, it should not have broke and disappeared. So something changed there. So now I'm going to go reconnect that tangent. So this tangent to this, it's not working. It is already tangent, but unfortunately it's not touching. So I have to extend it. So let's go over here to extend right here. We're going to hit X for the shortcut. Click on this guy and then just pull it to there and extend it. Okay. So now we can see this turn gray. So that means it could be an extrudable shape. So now I'm going to hit my M and trim that guy. All right. So now we have our outside size. We're going to choose our inside size now, and that is 34. So just click outside of the hit, type in 34. It automatically jumps into there. Okay. Now we want to check this overall size. So from, we're going to go over here to dimension, D for dimension. Click that guy. Click here, and this one is going to be 109.33. 109.33. Okay. So now we're going to fix this guy. This is 94.18. So go over here, 94.18. Okay, and then let's fix this one. I think this one was I don't actually have that, but I'm pretty sure it was a 20 degree. So I'm going to create a line going straight down. Let me click on this guy right here, go straight down. And that's kind of like just a reference line. L to get out of that. And let's click on this guy, or let's go create a dimension actually from this guy to this guy. And we're going to type in 20. So that then pulls it way down. All right, so now I'm going to hit, we're already in dimension. So click this guy, and we're going to go down. And that's going to be 203.20, which is exactly what it is. Perfect. All right, so if we want more slant on this, we can take this and we can pull this in and slant it a little more. I think that's the general shape we want. I actually do want a full circle here, so to pull that out in a second extrude. So I'm going to re-establish, or I'm going to put that 38 back into there. So let's click on that circle, click here, click just anywhere, and then 38 on that, and then it builds that into there. So what I'm going to do is extrude this circle out a second time. So now we have the general shape of this. So let's go and click this green check now. I'm just going to quickly double check things. Okay, yeah, it looks good. All right, so let's go and extrude this. So go over here to extrude. We're going to click on that guy, and we're going to click on this guy right here, and we're going to go, let's extrude this entire thing 5 millimeters. Okay, so 5 millimeters thick. So now my sketch disappeared, so I just go over here to this little eyeball and click that little eyeball. Okay. Okay. All right, so now there should be, you can see slightly inside of there, there's a second line inside of there. So let's click extrude again. We're going to click on that guy right there. If you don't see that guy, we can hit our tilde key. Tilde allows us to select different things that are unseen. So face of sketch 1, there we go. And it's red. Red means it's having an error. So what I'll do is, why did it change it? Well, it's 25. So there's an issue going on, but it's okay. We'll fix it in a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new, and we're going to have this here, length of that is 25 truly. Okay, so we can keep that at 25, but it's a new, so solid new 25, green check. So there's two pieces inside here. The first extrude went farther than I thought and should only be 5. Green check to confirm that. So now we can see that is in there now. So what I actually want to do is I want to push this to the other side because this will be hidden. So let's go to the extrude, double click on that guy. We're going to flip this, and now we can see that it is 25 from this face right here. So we can do a starting offset, flip that guy, and we're going to do 5 millimeters in the opposite direction. So let's click that, and it resets us it back inside of there. So green check. Now we can do a union. We can add this all together. So Boolean, union this guy to this guy, green check, and there we are. So now we may want to put a radius on here. I don't think I put down what the radius is, so we'll just, it's not on the drafting. So I will just put in here like, yeah, 2 millimeters sounds great. Perfect. All right, and then we have we'll flip it over. So you'll have to screw this down or bolt it down, and it's going to be on this face right here. So we're going to extrude a surface off of this. So let's click on sketch. We're going to sketch on this surface right here, and let's create a triangle, or let's create a rectangle. Click on this top edge right here, and then we're going to click way over here. We're just going to throw in a rectangle in there. Let's click front to flatten it. Let's get D for dimension, and now we're going to dimension this here from here to here. Actually, what we can do is we can trim that, but I'll do a D for dimension. We're going to click from this face to that face, and that's going to be 10 millimeters. Okay, and then we can take this, we can drag it all the way over. Let me get out of dimension first. Click out of that. Now we can take this and drag it. All right, and now what I actually want to do is I want to do a projection. I want to project this line onto the sketch. Now I'm going to hit M for trim. So M for trim is right here, and then just draw a line right through those, and they disappear. Okay. And then this guy right here, I will do a use. So it's going to project this line right here. Let's hit M for trim that guy, trim. Okay. And there we are. Green check. We can finish that one. and we're going to extrude this one 30 millimeters. So 30 millimeters, but it's going to include this 5 millimeters, so it's actually only 25 millimeters. So let's go extrude that guy, 25, perfect. So it's going to do solid, add, and it's merging with part 1, which part 1 is the main body. So that's perfect, green check. All right, so now we can put in our holes in here. I don't have that on our drafting, but we definitely need some holes in there. But now we're going to do the hex pattern, and the hex pattern is probably easier than you think. So let's create a sketch on this surface right here, and let's create our hex pattern. So go over here to inscribed polygon. We're just going to click on there. We're going to click here, and we're just going to drag out a polygon, and we want to choose 6 sides. But yeah, the first size is going to be 18. But and then if you slowly drag this to the left or right, it decreases or increases. So I'm going to just go to 6, and then I'm going to get out of that and go to my dimension here. I'm going to click on that inner circle right there, drag that out, and I'm going to change this to, I think it was 18. Yes, 18. All right. So, and then I want to take this line right here, and for mine, I want to make it horizontal. So let's click on that line right there, and then go over here to horizontal, and it snaps at horizontal. Okay. So next we will do a dimension. We'll dimension this first one. We'll take it from the origin. So all the way, oh, actually I can take it from, doesn't look like it wants me to take it there. So I'll take it from here, which is just slightly above the origin. Click over there, drag a straight line. This is going to be 90. And then going down, we're going to do 25 millimeters from this to here. 25, enter. That's our first polygon. So green check to finish that guy. Let's go over to extrude. We're going to take this shape right here and extrude it through. So we're going to do solid. We're going to do remove, and it doesn't matter how thick it is, as long as 25 is thicker than this thickness, which it is, and it's merging with part 1. Perfect. Green check, and there we are. That's our first hex or polygon. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do to fill pattern. If you don't have it already, we're going to look for the identical one I had. Yep, that's it right there. So we want to look for fill pattern, and the icon looks like this, okay? Now we go over here to our custom variables and features that we have. We're going to click on that fill pattern. We're going to click on the faces to pattern, which is this, and we're going to do rotation, and we're going to click on each one of these hex faces. Okay, green, or not green check yet. Then we're going to choose the target boundary, which is this face right here, and then direction. We're going to choose this guy right here, select the mate connector, and we're going to click on this face right here. Okay, and you see it automatically populated, which is awesome. See how easy that was? Click on the front, and we notice that a few of these are not showing up, and this one's really, really close. So what we probably should do is go down through this list here and get rid of that one right there. Or we can go in and we can make like a radius or something on there, but it says there's 16 pieces that it made in there. Let's click on these. Which one is, it's not letting me choose anything. I'm going to do a green check, and I'm, oh, okay. So now we see that we made the pattern, and we notice that this one is rather close. So let's create a border on this so that it stays out of this area right here. So click on that, double click on that guy again. Let's go over here. Let's click on 2, and then that makes this one disappear because it's too close to the edge. So green check to get rid of that. And now we have 15 patterns. Okay. So on my original one, yeah, we had it 15 places. So we can pop a couple screw holes in here, or in my case, I was using the command Velcro strips for this so I can easily attach and detach this. All right. So I'm going to leave the holes out for now. So now what we want to do is we want to export this out as a STL, and then we want to print 2 copies of it, and we actually want to have a mirrored copy of this. So we're going to go over here to mirror, and we're going to grab our entity to mirror. We're going to mirror about a plane, and we're going to choose this plane right here. And we are going to do a new, not add. So new, green check. So now we have 2 bodies. So this will be your left one to hold your roll. This will be your right one to hold your roll. And you can always adjust the size of your roll right there. So, so then we will export both of these out, but I'll do it one at a time. So this would be my right one. So let me left click, right click, do export. And then we're going to call this right paper towel holder. I'm going to copy that and make it quicker on the left. Export that out. Now we're going to go over part 2, right click on that guy, export that guy. Oh, I think part 1 was still highlighted there. Let's click on part 2 only, right click, export. Now we're going to type that in, and this is going to be our left. So I'm just going to change that. Export. Now we're going to go to our slicing software. So now we're in our slicing software. We will go to our downloads, and I will slide in the left. Okay, looks a little big. Let's see if it will fit. I think it's gonna just barely fit. So let me flip this over. Let's click on, put on that face right there. Looks like it's gonna print okay. If I laid it down, it's not gonna fit on my build bed. So that's okay. I'm gonna slide in my right one. And let's grab that one and do a flip on it. Let's pull it out. And we're gonna do a flip on that. So click on that guy. Face this guy, click out of there, and those are the 2 pieces. I can move this around a little bit, and let's do a slice on that. And this will take 3 hours and 27 minutes with my printer. I have an infill of 15%, and we can take a look and see how well that's going to, print. So looks pretty good. I don't believe we'll need any supports. Let me take a look at how the hex pattern is hitting. So, yeah, the hex pattern, these will be maybe a little difficult, but I think it should be okay. You may want to print these one at a time and see how these hex patterns actually work, because they are overhangs. They're short overhangs, but they're still overhangs. And then you have an overhang right here. So it's going to look maybe a little goofy there, but I think it print just fine. So maybe, print one at a time, see if it fails. So I'm going to actually click on one of these and get rid of it. So go back to prepare, click on that guy, delete. I'm just going to print number 1 and see how that works. If you want to do a test, a real basic test, maybe you chop this at a certain level and then you print that and you see how the hexes are printing. And that will give you a good idea, if you need to rotate those hexes. You could change it to where the star starts, the point starts on the bottom. That's one thing to do. So I'm going to give this a print and check it out. So thanks for watching.